Eleanor spoke the words that made Samuel stop cold. "It hurts, this is my first time." It was the summer of 1868, inside a lonely cabin near Abilene, Kansas. The oil lamp trembled in the breeze, shadows crawling across the wooden walls. The bed under them groaned softly. Sam had lived as a widower for 10 hard years. Eleanor, only 21, had arrived just 3 days ago, his mail-order bride, looking for a new beginning. But from the moment she stiffened beneath his touch, Sam sensed a truth far darker than shyness. Her shoulders were rigid, her breath unsteady, and when he looked into her eyes, he didn't see innocence. He saw fear. "It'll be gentle, I promise," Sam whispered. But then he froze, because he finally saw them. The bruises. Pale yellow. Deep purple. Old wounds layered over older ones, running up her arms like a cruel diary written in pain. Sam's hands, strong enough to break a wild stallion, suddenly became softer than cotton. "Who did this to you?" he asked, voice trembling with rage he didn't dare release. Eleanor shattered, not with small tears, but with the heavy, shaking sobs of someone who had swallowed years of silent torment. She wrapped herself in the bedsheet and curled toward the edge of the bed. "My stepfather," she whispered. "Cyrus Bennett. After Mama died, 5 years ago, he—" Her voice cracked before she could finish. Sam felt every word strike him like a bullet. He had seen death, war, outlaws, and broken men. But nothing had chilled him like this. "How long?" he asked quietly. 5 years. Every fight made it worse. So I stopped fighting." She swallowed hard. "When I saw your advertisement in the Kansas paper, it felt like the only door God left open." Sam stood, fetched a damp cloth, and sat beside her, close enough to offer comfort, far enough to be safe. "Listen, Eleanor," he said softly. "You're not here to be hurt. You're here to be treated right. I wanted a partner, not someone to break." Her eyes softened, just a little. "We take this slow," Sam continued. "You sleep on the bed tonight. I'll sleep on the floor. Tomorrow, we start as friends. Deal?" A fragile smile touched her lips. "Deal." Sam lay on the hard floor that night, staring at the wooden ceiling. But his mind burned with a single thought. What kind of man destroys a girl's life for 5 years straight? And God help that man, if he ever came to Kansas. Morning brought the smell of frying bacon. Eleanor blinked in disbelief. Back in Ohio, she had always been forced to cook. And beaten if she didn't. But here Sam was, turning bacon like a man who had done it all his life. "Hope you like scrambled eggs," Sam said. "I ain't fancy, but I know how to keep folks fed." Eleanor sat down, wrapped in a blanket. The small cabin felt nothing like the prison she'd escaped. It felt honest. "You shouldn't be doing all this," she whispered. "And you shouldn't have agreed to marry a stubborn old cowboy you never met," Sam replied with a grin. Over the next weeks, Sam taught her everything. Milking Bessie the cow, riding gentle old Daisy, and firing a revolver until her hands stopped shaking. She still flinched sometimes. But day by day, her shoulders loosened, her smile grew, and her breathing no longer carried fear. One hot afternoon, while they mended a broken fence, she laughed. A real, bright laugh she hadn't let out in years. That night she said softly, "You can sleep on the bed now. I trust you." Sam kept his distance. But around midnight, her trembling hand searched for his. He held it lightly, like holding a fragile bird that needed warmth. 2 weeks later, she kissed him first. What followed wasn't hurried, wasn't forced. It was gentle, patient, healing. Afterward, tears slid down her cheeks. But they were tears of release. "Thank you for waiting," she whispered. For the first time, Sam believed they might truly build a life together. But far away in Ohio, Cyrus Bennett received a letter that told him where Eleanor had gone. And the rage inside him boiled hot enough to cross 1,000 miles. 3 months. That's how long Eleanor and Sam had of peace. 3 quiet, healing months slipped by. Until one warm afternoon when Eleanor was hanging damp laundry on the line behind the cabin. She spotted a wagon on the horizon. And the world inside her chest collapsed. Cyrus Bennett stepped down first. The same cruel eyes, the same twisted sneer she'd seen in nightmares for half a decade. Beside him stood the county sheriff. "There she is," Cyrus shouted. "My stepdaughter, the runaway thief." The sheriff lifted a folder of papers. "Mr. Bennett reports you stole a horse and owe him $500. Eleanor's hands froze midair. The fear she had spent months burying came roaring back. Sam rode in fast from the pasture, sliding off his horse before it even stopped. His jaw was hard enough to crack stone. "You got 3 seconds to step off my property," he growled. "This is family business," Cyrus snapped. "Stepfamily," Sam corrected sharply. "And the law says she's my wife now. Proper papers filed." He turned to Eleanor, voice gentler. "Show them." Her breath shook, but her courage held. She rolled up her sleeve. The sheriff's face drained of color. "Good Lord," he whispered. 5 years, Eleanor said quietly. "That's what I took from him." Silence fell so heavy it felt like the air froze. Then the sheriff glared at Cyrus. "Get back in your wagon and leave this county before I throw you in a cell myself." Cyrus climbed back up, seething. Before flicking the reins, he spat. "This ain't finished." It wasn't. At 2 a.m., the ranch awoke to the sound of shattering glass. Cyrus had returned. Sam grabbed his shotgun, but when he moved toward the door, Eleanor caught his wrist firmly. "No," she said. "It ends with me." She picked up Sam's spare revolver with steady hands. No trembling, no hesitation, just 5 years of fear turning into fire. She pushed open the cabin door. Cyrus stood in the moonlight, drunk, pistol dangling from his hand, hate twisting his face. "You ain't got the nerve," he slurred. Eleanor stepped closer, eyes clear, voice calm. "The girl you hurt didn't. But I'm not that girl anymore." Sam moved behind her, shotgun leveled steady. "She's telling the truth, Bennett. And even if she misses, I won't." For the first time, Cyrus' confidence cracked. His eyes darted between them, between the woman he'd tormented and the man ready to defend her with his last breath. He stumbled backward, tripped over his own boots, and scrambled to his horse. With a terrified yank at the reins, he rode into the darkness. And was never seen in Kansas again. A year later, summer of 1869, it felt like the world had been rebuilt. The ranch prospered. Eleanor's garden burst with color. And peace, true, deep peace, finally lived in every corner of their land. Eleanor sat outside in the evening light, wearing a soft white dress, her belly round with their first child. Her face glowed with the kind of softness she once believed she'd never know. Sam climbed the stairs of the porch, dusty from the day's labor. Eleanor leaned forward and kissed him, slow, warm, full of everything she had learned about love. Their old ranch horse wandered up to the fence, watching them like a silent guardian. The sky burned orange. A quiet wind rustled the prairie grass. And for the first time since childhood, Eleanor was safe. Eleanor was cherished. Eleanor was free.